In this short video, you will learn about the Takion trading platform, which can be called the best terminal for intraday traders. One of the features of this terminal is the way it connects to the servers, which are located near the servers of all major exchanges in the data center Equinix NY4, which provides the fastest data processing and data transfer to your computer. To connect to the servers, before starting the Takion, we need to run Cisco AnyConnect VPN client from Cisco, which will provide a stable and secure connection, as well as reduce the probability of disconnection. In the window that will open, you will need to enter the server to connect to. Click Connect, and then enter your username and password, which you will receive from your manager, together with the username and password of your trading account. Once the connection is established, we may start the Takion right away. During the first start, before we enter login and password to log in, we have to enter the IP addresses of the servers with which we will exchange data. In this case, it is 4 servers. The first server is used to receive quotes. The second server is used to send orders. The third server is used for the stock screener that is embedded in the Takion itself. There is also a fourth server that provides historical data about shares. The Takion also allows the trading of futures and options, but we will not connect them here. You should also pay attention to the special functionality, which allows you to optimize the terminal for the resources it uses on your computer. If other programs are running at the same time, you can specify the Takion's priority before other programs and the amount of RAM it can use. These settings will allow to avoid freezes and make the platform more stable. After entering all IP addresses, we can enter the username and password from the trading account and launch the terminal. When you run it for the first time, the interface might look complicated because there are a lot of unconfigured windows. That is why we have created a ready-to-use layout, which you can request from your manager. All you have to do is start the Takion with the layout file and you can start trading immediately. In this video we will set up the workspace manually, so that you can master the basic functionality and know how to configure the workspace for your tasks. The first thing to do after the first start, is to close all windows except the main window, from which we will be opening new windows. To do this, right-click on any window title bar, and select Close. After we have only the main window, we can start to open the windows we need to work. In this example, we will set up minimum necessary for work set of windows which are mostly used by traders. In Takion, as in other similar terminals, all the windows are opened from the main program window. And in this case, there are 2 ways to do it. We can open new windows using the buttons located directly on the main window, or we can right-click and go to the new tab and select the window you need. For convenience, we will use the buttons. First of all, we will open the most necessary window. This window with open positions. The window with orders. The execution window, which displays the execution of orders, either market or limit ones. And also the position manager window, which serves as a log window where we can track any warning messages and actions with orders. After placing the windows in the order we want, we can proceed with setting them up. There are individual font settings for each window in the Takion, so we can set up the font for wherever it will be and whatever monitor resolution we need. This makes Takion easy to use on small laptops as well as on large TVs. To change the font settings, we right-click on the area where we want to change the font and click Font. In the window that opens, we make sure to check Custom, to activate the custom settings, and we can choose a comfortable font format and size. For my monitor, I will choose the 10th font size. Having done this operation for all the windows, we already get a more readable form of information. The next step is to set up the columns. One of the features of Takion is the most extensive selection of information that we can display in columns. Moreover, Takion allows us to sort the information in the windows in several columns at once, which allows us to use the columns as filters to process the data, especially when it comes to stock lists. Since, in our example, we only need a minimum amount of data for the position and order windows, the first thing we do is turn off all the columns we don't need. To do this, right-click the mouse, go to the Orders tab, and select Columns. You can notice that the Columns button is in 2 places. Each of the buttons is responsible for the columns at the top and bottom of the window respectively. Now we will turn off the columns in the bottom area. In the window that opens, we will see dozens of activated columns. To turn them off, right-click and select Unselect All. After removing all the columns from the bottom area, we can hide this empty area by simply dragging the mouse over its top edge. By the way, many areas at the edges of windows in Takion are reached or hidden by this simple dragging, an indicator of which we can see as a corresponding arrow when you hover the mouse. Now let's adjust the top area of the columns following the same steps, but leaving only the columns we need for work. You can see that there are more than 100 different columns for different purposes, so you can use the built-in search to find the column of interest by simply typing in the name. All what's left to do is to color the values of profits and losses, and for that, go to the tab Properties and check the color. We set up all other windows in the same way. In the case of working with a large amount of data, it may be necessary also to specify the location of the text in relation to the borders of the column. For this purpose, it is enough to open the drop-down window in the menu of column settings and choose one of the variants opposite to a necessary column, on the left, center, or on the right. Now you know how to set up the display of information in the Takion windows and you can easily customize it. The next step is to open the depth of the market and time and sales. The first thing to do for the convenience of setting up is to load the quotes, for which you need to start typing any company ticker you know. Then press enter. As in the case with the previous windows, let's set the color and fonts. To change the color, right-click in the font area and select color. Check the custom and change the foreground parameter. Similar to the previous windows, adjust the font size. In order to open the time and sales, it is enough to pull it out of the right part of the window. After we have set up fonts, we can set up the display of quotes in detail. For example, you may display ECN in shortened form, for which we will put a tick in the Properties window against short IDs. If you want to see only ECN, price and trade volume, remove the check mark near Show Sale Conditions. It should be noted that the size of the font which displays the volume of orders in the order book is set separately, as well as all other fonts, by right-clicking on it. To get detailed information on the open ticker, it is enough to take out the corresponding area from the upper part of the window. And there is very important information here. Takion allows you to track in this area in real time such data as the availability of the stock to open a short position, as well as the cost and availability of the locate if you want to borrow the stock to sell, which is extremely useful for the pump and dump trading strategy. To display the volume of trades in shares instead of lots, check size in shares. You may also need to configure the background of the order book, so that it would be convenient to distinguish orders at different price levels. To do this, go to the Global Platform Settings and go to the Settings tab of the Market Maker window. In the special field, right-click on Add and select the desired color, which will be the backdrop for one price level. If you want to change an already existing color, you can select the corresponding color by double-clicking and changing it. After you click Apply, you will immediately see the changes in the order book. In this way, you can adjust the background to make it as easy as possible to read the time and sales and track the response of the order book to them. Now you know how to configure the order book and can adjust it to your trading routine. Now we can open the chart and link it immediately to the order book. To do this, right-click in the chart window, go to the Link tab and select Active. After that, the chart will be automatically linked to any active window with tickers. Now you can enter a ticker in the window of the order book and it will automatically load not only the quotes in the book, but also the chart of the stock. Next, we can add trading volumes to the chart, for which we can simply pull them out of the lower part of the chart window. In order to make the chart more convenient to work with, we can specify the position of the price scale relative to the chart. To do that, go to the Properties window and check the Price Right box. Now it remains to set the timings on the chart for easy navigation. To do this, right-click on the chart and click on the time. Here we can set the time according to NY, from which the chart will start, but it is better to put a tick against the bar width. This will allow us to flexibly change the scale of the chart and not be bound to a specific time. To change the scale, just drag the mouse horizontally on the timeline. In order to navigate through the history of a chart, you can press the Alt key and move the chart with your mouse. For the candlesticks not to merge with each other and to have an empty space between them, we also check the candle gap checkbox in the same Properties menu. Another useful feature is the ability to clone the already configured windows, so that you do not have to configure similar windows separately. To do this, you need to right-click on the window title bar and select Clone. Finally, we can go to the most important settings, which will make your trading fast and convenient, the hotkeys setup. which will allow you to perform many tasks when working with orders by pressing a single button on the keyboard. To do this, we go to the General Settings of the program and select the Commands tab. Takion allows you to configure any tasks under the hot buttons, but in this video we will examine only the most important ones, which will allow you to start trading as quickly as possible. To select the tasks you want to configure, you need to put a check mark next to the task type so that they appear in the list. In this example, we will set up hot buttons to send orders. To assign a task to a hot button, you must select the task and press the button to which you want to assign the task. Thus, it will be automatically assigned to the selected task. If you need to remove a task from the button, just click on the button opposite the selected task. Once we have assigned the button to the task, we can go to the list of actions that will be performed when the button is pressed. Since in this example we will be configuring the sending of orders, we will go to the Orders tab. Takion is the only platform of its kind that allows you to configure in detail all of the processes of routings, dark pools, locates, and perform all of them with the help of hot buttons. In this example, we will look at setting up functions to send market and limit orders directly from the order book. Let's set up the buy limit order first. To do this, we select from the list of tasks the buy limit order that has already been assigned the F1 hot button. Let's select the direction of the buy order. Since this is a limit order, not a market order, make sure that market is not checked. And we choose at what price the order will be sent. We have a whole set of options for automatic calculation of the price, depending on the prices and the depth of orders at the time of sending the order. If we want the order to be placed at the price opposite to the order direction, then we select opposite side. In this case for the buy order, it will be the best ask price in the depth of orders, as ask is displaying the price of orders to sell, that is against the direction of our order. To apply the settings, right-click on the empty field and select Replace. If we want the order to be sent at the bid price, that is the best price relative to the direction of our order, then we select the same side. At the same time, we can specify right away on what distance from the bid price our order will be set. For example, if we want to be the first in the execution queue among the existing orders in the order book, we can specify the price that is 1 cent better than the bid price. We press Replace and we are done. Now our buy limit order will be placed at the bid price plus 1 cent. Next, we need to specify the order volume, and there are a lot of options for calculation here as well. If we want our order to always have a fixed volume, then we choose shares and also press Replace in the free field. If we want the volume to be taken from a special field in the Market Maker window, where we will enter it manually, we choose Tier. In our case, we will use this option. In this example, we will be setting up the order so that we can select a price in the pop-up window before sending it, and adjust the volume right before sending the order, so we need to check the adjustable checkbox. You may also need hot buttons to cancel orders, and you can set them up in the same Commands tab. For simple tasks, it is enough to use Cancel All Orders, as well as the last order placed. We can now test the hot buttons by placing orders in the orders book, going to the Market Maker window. If we press the F1 button that we have set up for sending the order, a pop-up window will appear with the order settings that we have already set up. It is also worth noting a special function, which automatically changes the price of our order, before sending it as prices on the market change. This gives you the opportunity not to have to catch the price constantly changing it after the prices at the market. If you want the price at the time of sending the order to be guaranteed exactly as we have configured in the hot buttons, in our case it is bid plus 1 cent. If you want to specify the price yourself, you just do it with the arrows on your keyboard. After you press the arrow keys, the automatic following of the market prices will be disabled, and you can easily send an order at the price you want. This function is also adjustable, and you can disable it at will. Also, by pressing the numbers on the keyboard, in the block of buttons numpad, you can immediately change the volume of the order before sending. In this case, the volume changes in multiples of 100 shares. That is, by pressing 1, we will set the volume to 100 shares. By pressing 5, we will set the volume to 500 shares. The multiplicity and step of change can also be adjusted as desired. Now, let's choose a price far away from the market prices, so that our order will not be executed accidentally, and send it to the market. After we press enter, the order will be sent and we will see it in the window of orders. By right-clicking on it, we can change its parameters. Or we can simply cancel it with the hot button we configured earlier. You can also set the volume of the order, before the hot button is pressed by simply pressing the keys on the numpad. you will see the volume change in the market maker window in the tier field. This feature is useful for sending market orders without the pre-pop-up windows. After pressing the hot button, the volume will already be specified in the order settings. Now you know how to configure hot buttons to send orders, and you can quickly start trading. All we have to do now is open the last window, which makes Takion the best terminal for intraday traders. This is the market sorter window. This window combines the functions of an automatic stock screener and filter, as well as the sorter of a list of these stocks on more than 100 parameters. It will allow you to automatically create and sort stock lists for any strategy. By right-clicking and going to the column settings section, you can get acquainted with all possible parameters by which you can sort more than 12,000 companies in real time. The number of companies that are currently on the list can be seen in the upper right corner of the window. It is very important to pay attention to the fact that all the data on all the stocks is processed on a server in the Equinix NY4 data center in New York, right next to the servers of all the major exchanges, so you get the data already processed in real time with the highest possible speed, which no other trading platform allows you to do. And that means you don't have to have the best hardware and communication channels to get quotes for all the stocks to process them. Once you have selected the columns you want to sort the list, you may see empty fields in the columns. In order to load data there, you need to open a drop-down window in the Columns Setup section and tick Use opposite the column you are interested in. To color the values in the list of shares, in the Properties tab, check the Color checkbox. Now you can sort the list by any of the columns of interest to find the best trading opportunities as quickly as possible. Moreover, you can sort the list into several columns at the same time, if you need to. Finally, let's open the Filter Settings window, and create a basic set of filters, with which we'll create a simple list of stocks to work with. To do this, select Filter. In the window that opens, you will see over 50 different filters and stock list settings that have been specifically designed for active traders. You can choose the timeframes on which the filters will work, the exchanges from which the lists of stocks will be taken, the types of stocks, the status of these stocks in terms of their availability for sell short. You can enter your own lists of stocks, or choose filters to automatically calculate the imbalance of orders at market opening or closing, if you trade imbalances. By combining these filters together, you can create stock lists quite accurately for most existing strategies in the market, without using third-party resources or programs. In our example, we'll create a simple list of stocks priced between $10 and $500, and with a current trading session volume of more than 1 million shares, excluding ETF fund stocks, ETN stocks, and stocks of companies with average trading volumes above $7 million. We ended up with 8,990 companies that fit our parameters, and now we can sort these companies into the columns we want to find the best of them. In addition to Market Sorter, Takion has another way to search for stocks that has its own unique filters, and shows stocks as they begin to fit the parameters. Its top feature is a special functionality for finding explosive activity in stocks at the moment. You will find the detailed analysis of the filters, and their combinations for various strategies in the individual training videos on our channel, as well as by request to your manager. Now you know how to configure Takion, and can easily adjust it to your strategies and methods of work. To do this, you may need another unique feature of this terminal, which allows you to link it with any third-party applications. Takion has a built-in linker, and on the example of linking with Thinkorswim trading platform, let's see how it works. To use the linker, you need to run the program you are linking Takion with as administrator. In our example, it is Thinkorswim. Then, as an administrator, you need to run Takion. After that, in tab X link, we need to choose the program we are going to link with. If everything is done correctly, the program name will be displayed in green. Next, in the same tab, we need to click Link. After that, the linking will work. All we have to do is put the cursor in the ticker field in the main window of the Thinkorswim program, then we can go to work in the Takion. When we switch or enter tickers in Takion, they will be automatically entered in Thinkorswim. Now you know how to configure the Takion for your tasks. You can learn more information from the videos on our channel, links in the description of this video, or by asking your manager.